Hi friends, I am James, one of the senior faculties of IBS Kayankulam, a premier institute for bank coaching and other competitive examinations. In this video, I would like to mention important aspects of capital budgeting. This is useful for those students who are preparing for JIB accountancy paper A module. What is capital budgeting? See, capital budgeting refers to allocation of capital in such a way that you get a maximum return on the investment. Because this normally, why this budgeting is required? Because the capital is costly, it is scarce, and therefore any person who would like to invest in a particular project, he has to make it sure, he has to ensure that he gets a reasonable return. So why this capital budgeting? Because number one, long-term implication. Suppose somebody wanted to start a business, say a company, say a manufacturing firm. So they need a place, a land. They have to construct a building. They need a machinery. They need equipments. So these are all the areas where the investment has to be made. So after all, so that means there is a long-term implication and there is uncertainty. See, you got a job in the bank, you get the salary every month, you go to the office, work, you get the salary. So the job is secured. Whatever happens, if there is corona or some other things, your salary is not affected. Suppose you start a business, there is a lot of risk. Because of this pandemic nowadays, lot of business ventures, business firms are in debt. They are not able to pay off their liabilities. They are not able to pay off the salary of the wage to the employees. So these are all the highly risk area where so many other factors are involved, external factors are involved. Therefore, for capital budgeting, a clear and an effective evaluation of the project is necessary. So long-term implication, there is a lot of risk and uncertainty. And suppose you start off an activity, a business, invested, and halfway, can you go back? It is not possible. If you want to reverse it, you may have to incur heavy loss. Then, therefore, there is a proper evaluation is required in the case of capital budgeting or in the case of investment. You have to learn what are the techniques in capital budgeting. See, you can broadly classify the techniques into two. Number one, the traditional methods, or you can say non-discounted cash flow technique. So what's the meaning of traditional or non-discounted cash flow technique? This is a method where the time value of money is not considered. That means, what is the meaning of time value? Time value means time has got a value. Suppose you receive 1 lakh rupees now and you compare, you are going to receive 1 lakh rupees after 1 year. So which is worth more? Whether the money of 1 lakh which you are getting now or the amount of 1 lakh you are getting after 1 year. Definitely the amount of 1 lakh which you are getting now is worth more than what you are getting the same amount after 1 year. This concept is called the time value. So this traditional method is one where the time value is not taken into account. That means an amount is received after 1 year is treated as one amount you are receiving it now. It is an unscientific method and there is no logic in it because the amount has got a value. Number one, inflation, and number two, you are getting a return. Suppose 1 lakh rupees you are getting now, you invest somewhere at 10%, at the end of 1 year you will get 1,10,000, isn't it? Therefore, this 1 lakh, you can say it is the present value, and 1 lakh 10,000 which you are getting after 1 year, you can say it is the future value. So this concept has to be taken very clearly. Therefore, in capital budgeting, there are two techniques: the traditional method or non-discounted cash flow technique. The time value of money is not taken into account. There are two methods where this capital budgeting is done under the traditional method. Number one, the payback method, and number two, the accounting rate of return method. Now, what is payback method? Payback method refers to the time required to get back the money invested. So, payback refers to the time required to get back the money invested. For example, there is a project. You have two options. Project A. The project A, suppose the initial outlay is 10,000. And life of the project is say 4 years. The cash flow means the return you are getting at the end of first year is 2,000. At the end of second year, it is 3,000. At the end of third year, it is 5,000. And at the end of fourth year is 1,000. So you have to invest 10,000 now. You get back 2,000 after 1 year. Then 3,000 after 2 years. So 3 plus 2, 5,000. And 5,000 after third year. So you get 10,000. And another 1,000 after the end of fourth year. So what is the payback period of this project? We can say that the payback period is 3 years. Because you have invested 10,000 now and you got this 10,000 over a period of 3 years. So this is the concept of payback period. Here an important point to remember is the time value is not taken into account. You are spending 10,000 now. So its present value is 10,000. You are getting 2,000 after 1 year. Its present value will be definitely less than 2,000. You are getting 3,000 after 2 years. Again, that will be less than what you are getting now. So this, even though you are getting this 10,000 over a period of 3 years, actually your receipt or the return which you are getting is far below 10,000 rupees. So this project is not, this technique is not a scientific method. Now coming to say another project, same investment 10,000 is required, project B. Every year the return is 2,000 spread over a period of 7 years. So what is the payback in that case? The second project, when he gets back the initial investment at the end of 5 years, because every year 2,000 he gets. So at the end of 5 years he gets back the 10,000. So payback period for the project B is 5 years. So if a person is looking at the payback period alone, he will have to choose project A, even though project A is better, because project B, he gets return at the rate of 2,000 rupees over a period of 7 years. So total return is getting 14,000. So even though project B is far better than project A, if he is looking at the payback period alone, then he will definitely choose the payback method. So what are the demerits of payback method? Number one, the time value is not taken into account, because the money which you are getting after 1 year is treated as the same value which you are getting now. So that is unscientific, or which is not correct, which is against, because it is not real. The amount of 1,000 you are getting after 1 year will worth definitely less than 1 year. Depends on what is the cost of capital. If it is 10%, it will be around 900. If it is 20%, it will be below 900, like that. Next, the choice of the payback period is arbitrary, because the investor will choose. Say, I am going to invest, I am ready to invest, but I want the money back over a period of 5 years or 3 years. So this payback period is arbitrary, choice is arbitrary. Then cash flow during the payback period alone is considered. Subsequent future years cash back is not taken into account. So thank you for watching this video. I'll come out with another useful video later. Thank you.
If you like our content, do like, share and subscribe.